That first piece is called Coldwater Creek. It's a march-style piece for beginning band. The next piece that we're going to play for you is called Comet Ride. And I have to tell you a little story before we play. When we started working on this piece, it was really neat how it worked out, because the focus right now with our curriculum across the board, whether it's math, science, music, art, what have you, the focus is to connect subject areas. We're referring to it as Common Core. It's coming down the pipe next year, next 2 years or so. When we started working on this piece, Comet Ride, it was written about the Deep Impact mission that NASA put together back in 2005. Part of the Deep Impact mission was that the Deep Impact probe would fly out to this comet, which was called Comet Temple 1. And the plan was that the Deep Impact probe would release another satellite to crash into Comet Temple 1. And this was a huge deal back when they did this, because it was the first time that we'd gotten a really close-up glimpse of the inner workings of the comet. And when these pictures were released of this probe crashing into Comet Temple 1, they were all over the newspaper. It was a big deal. But to tell you how big this stuff was, the probe itself weighed about 820 pounds. And when the satellite crashed into the comet, it was traveling at about 23,000 miles per hour. When we started working on this piece, we were able to connect with what the science classes were doing, because at the same time that we were learning Comet Ride, the science classes were talking about comets and asteroids and the solar system and that kind of thing. So while in science class they're learning about how all this stuff works, we're painting a musical picture of it in our class. So they get an even deeper understanding. The idea of this piece is that, say you saw Comet Temple 1 and you decided to hitch a ride on it, what would that ride be like? Eventually the ride's going to run out of the steam, because we all know that a comet is made out of ice, basically, and once it gets close enough to the sun and its orbit, it will eventually melt and disappear. So you're going to hear a musical portrayal of that event. neat about this age is to see at Christmas where they are, and then in the spring what they do. It's really neat because at Christmas, I don't know if you can remember, but the tune that they played at the last concert, it was all the same melody, right? Everybody had the same thing for the most part. This stuff, there's all kinds of different things going on. Things are getting more complex. The next piece that we're going to play is called Revenge of the Dust Bunnies. Yeah, I said Revenge of the Dust Bunnies. Most of these guys have no idea what I'm talking about. If I were to say, you know how when you clean the house or your room, don't look at me like you know. So you clean your house or the bedroom, and you get rid of all the dust bunnies, and it's a battle, right? You go around the house and you're battling, you're looking for them under the table, behind the couch, under the rug, wherever, and you think you've got them all, but they all come back. This piece is also going to tell a story. You're going to hear us battle against the dust bunnies, but we're going to be saved by Miss Lim. She's going to save us all from the dust bunnies, but listen carefully because they may just come back. I forgot. There's also another interesting part of this piece, and that is we have a really cool percussion instrument that most people never ever see or hear. And it's a little tiny thing that Nicole Frisch back there is holding up. It's called the flexotone. It was one of a bunch of instruments that were made back in the early 1900s for radio shows. Remember how before TV there were radio shows that had all these crazy sound effects? This was created just for that, but since then it's been used in a lot of orchestra and band music. It's kind of become a standard-ish percussion instrument. Nicole, play a little bit for us. You ever hear any of the old cartoons, like old Betty Boop and really, really old Looney Tunes? Anytime something metal is getting hit, that's the sound they use. So now you'll know and it'll never be the same. save the day. Okay, at this time, we're going to bring out the 7th grade band. 6th grade, you guys may go put your horns away and sit.